Good morning, everybody. What's up? Glad to be here with you as always. From Bakersfield, Tom coming in from Nashville. We have a dynamic show lined up for you today. We're going to be talking about all sorts of things. Where I think we're finally going to get a chance to cover the classified documents case dismissal. We're gonna talk about more stuff on the assassination attempt. We're going to talk about what's going on in the Biden camp and several other things. But Tom, I shared this video with you before, but it's well, I'm gonna call this the dumbass of the day segment for now, and we might continue to do this, but
I would agree with you what I saw earlier, Mike. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. I gotta close my eyes. No, I'm not gonna close my eyes. He broke that leg.
Broke his leg, yeah. It's his neck.
He's trying to crawl.
He's crawling.
He broke something.
Oh, he broke everything.
He's more hurt than, and the security guy just walks to him. He doesn't have to chase the dude down.
Oh, he doesn't. He's like, you just, I guess, lay there and I'll put some handcuffs on you.
But
I mean, what makes you think you can jump off a second-story building? I don't know if I could have done that when I was in my 20s, Tom.
Mike, I think. Well, can I say this? I think you might have attempted it. If you were,
I would have at least thought about it.
Yeah,
I did some crazy stuff when I was that age. I'm sure you probably did too.
Well, I did, but Mike, you did something crazy a year ago. You were riding bikes with a professional bike rider, and he was at the bottom of a hill, and what did you tell him? Did you say, "Hey, can I make it"? What'd you say?
Yeah. I said, you think I could take this hill? And he said, yeah, send it. And I was like, okay, boom. And if y'all go back to my Facebook, I'm not gonna. I don't know. Maybe I'll repost it. I'll ask my wife if she thinks this is a good idea. But I got blood like gushing down my face. I was split open. I think it's on this side. I still got a scar on my nose from this. And she said, oh my God, I went home and she said, you gotta go to the hospital, you gotta go to the ER or something. And I was like, nah, it'll be fine, being a guy, as sometimes us guys do.
And how many days did she drive you to the studio?
Oh, multiple. And she said, you got to go to ER. I was like, just put some super glue on it. It'll be good. And then the next day, like everybody's telling me, you're telling me, dude, you got a concussion.
You did.
And I was like,
your eyeballs were dilated. You were stubborn. So I thought that was
funny. But if we get some comments, if y'all want to see that, I'll repost it. But it's a little graphic.
But Mike, let me clear this up, because we aren't laughing at this guy for his
injury.
Yeah, what put him there was he's a thief.
Yeah,
he's a thief, and he stole something, and he thought he would take the quick way down. Mike, I think I told you, I think you watched Spider-Man the night before, but this just tells you that
I'm trying to spit out my coffee right now.
Well, the Bible tells us to consider things before we do them, because the consequences will be on us. And this guy ended up with some injuries, and maybe he had some time in jail to think about it. But if it was current, he probably got a no bail thing and jumped out real quick.
He definitely got some time in the hospital to think about it, if nothing else.
I know. So we're not laughing at somebody's misfortune. That was something they caused to themselves. And we can laugh about Mike's misfortune because he trusted Adrian's opinion. And if you know Adrian Monhay, Adrian is a very, very capable mountain bike rider. So he just he's
basically a professional.
How many people have with Adrian and been hurt? I'm
sure multiple, right? But I was so hurt that I could barely walk, and then I had to try to bike back to the car, which was kind of far because we were in the mountains. You had to go up and down and pedal and everything else. Yeah, it was wild, but
that was a good laugh. But Bible says laughter is good medicine.
If I can laugh at myself, then y'all can laugh at me too.
Yep, I like that, Mike. That was funny.
So as we're opening the show, I want to mention to all of you guys, we're doing a lot of things here at 511. We're leveling up, but we're gonna be coming out with very, very soon. In fact, they're on order. We got some shirts that are being made.
Wow.
Which, Tom, that's a surprise to use, but Davey came up with this design, and I was like, man, I love that. So,
I love what you guys are doing.
Brave, hated, scorned. It says Patriot in the back. And Layla, can you show the backside? Yeah. So it's a quote from Mark Twain, and she took that brave, hated, scorned from Mark Twain. In the beginning of a change, the patriot is a scarce man, and brave and hated and scorned. When his cause succeeds, the timid join him, for then it costs nothing to be a patriot.
I like it.
And she sent that, and I was like, oh, I love it. And then she sent the backside, and I was like, yes, let's make
Good job, LaDavia. Good job.
Yeah, as always, she does an amazing job. Yeah, the team here is just phenomenal. But you know, as we get into the show, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, and we're gonna be coming out with some cool promo videos and some discount codes and everything else for y'all with Covenant, because we've been promoting them for a long time. We've had a partnership for a long time. But Covenant Coffee, covenantcoffee.org online. Layla, if you can drop that link in the comments so everybody can get there. But covenantcoffee.org. But they're also here in Bakersfield. If you're in Bakersfield, California, they have a location right across the street at Mohawk in California. They have a location across town on North Chester, and they have an amazing cause. They support emancipated foster youth. They first started with Covenant Ministries, which was providing housing and other things, support for foster youth. And they found, as they aged out of the system, as they became emancipated, that they were not being taken care of, that, you know, they were becoming another statistic. And to keep them all from becoming a statistic, Randy Martin, who we're going to have back in the studio very soon, Randy Martin decided to start this Covenant Coffee. And we're going to get him in here probably on one of these shows to share the story of how Covenant Coffee began, and some new updates and what they're working on now. But go support them because they do have amazing coffee. I'm drinking their coffee every day, and they have an amazing cause. So go check out covenantcoffee.org. So as we continue, you know, one of the things that I've wanted to get to pretty much all week, and it's taken, you know, most of the week to get to it, is this classified documents case dismissal. And I don't know if all of you guys know, but there's the DOJ and Biden, the weaponized alphabet soup agencies, have been persecuting and prosecuting, both words are appropriate, Donald J. Trump. Mm-hmm. One of the things that they've charged him with is keeping classified documents. The reality is there's more to that story, because it's not abnormal for a ex-president to keep classified documents. Not that they necessarily keep them, but they negotiate about, you know, hey, some of these are mine and I have to keep them. Some of them go back to you guys, and they go back and forth. Normally there's nothing done about it. And normally it happens in every presidency. And Obama still has stuff from his presidency, and several other presidents, ex-presidents, have stuff from their ex-presidency. But Donald Trump's been the only one that's ever been tried on this. But the case was in Florida, and if y'all remember, they raided Mar-a-Lago, and it's insane. It was an insane scene. We've shared that on our former show, Relevant Rants, and they have just put this man through, frankly, hell, in an attempt to disqualify him, to discredit him, to take him out of the race, and they haven't been successful. But the thing is, this case is likely going to be appealed. Expect that. However, the appeal likely won't happen, because if anybody knows, if you're watching this and you know, court cases take a while. Court cases aren't quick, and it takes time for the ball to be in motion. So it likely won't be appealed till after the election. And I'm sure there's going to be some things that they throw in there to, you know, try again to impeach Trump. However, in all likelihood, we're going to have majority. Republicans will have majority in both the House and the Senate. So the success rate of that is going to be very, very low. But frankly, this is just a witch hunt.
Maybe they could bring some of the Mike Bedreau. I think Mike did a great job yesterday, and you did too, Mike. I think Mike Bedreau made a very valid point that there's a lot of other congressional investigations that went on that found enough evidence, and no one has prosecuted them yet. So, if and when we do get the House and the Senate, maybe some of those cases can be brought up, i.e., the Burisma,
Oh yeah,
the how do you get rich being a politician for 50 years? How to become a millionaire without the traditional route, Mike? I don't get that. I mean, anybody with a calculator or an abacus could figure out Joe Biden's professional political career, which is the only job he's ever had. I mean, he said well, if you hear him, he's been a professional athlete. He's taught at colleges. He's got a lot of experience. So I do know that he's speaking publicly can fare well. And I think that you could add that in, but I don't think you're going to ever get to what his worth is, especially after his faithful, loyal son got on the boards of some of these Chinese and Ukrainian companies and just kind of funneled the money just towards the people with the last name Biden. So maybe
Layla,
some of those cases will be investigated, Mike. That's what I hope, because we know it's a sham. You guys know it's sham too. I love that. It's one of those things. And I know we're going to be talking about assassination attempt. If Layla's there, I did send over one picture that I think is a cartoon, Mike, and I think you'll see it and you'll get it. And I'd like to put that up when we hit a good point in the show, because it points out why the Democrats are getting desperate.
If I don't know what it is, but if it's
don't pick it up now, because if we're going to talk about the assassination, it fits in more there.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so real quick, if you guys have been paying attention to 511 Media, and I know that our channel has been growing significantly. Thank you guys for your support. I want to say also, we are responding to comments. We're responding to comments live on the show as well. We will be very, very soon having live callers be able to call in for the show. We are taking emails. You can go over to 511media.co, not .com.co, to check that out, and you can email us any questions you want, anything you want to see us answer on the show, any responses, any comments. We're paying attention to all of it. But if you guys have been paying attention, you'll know that we've been talking about Believer Summit, and
you got to get there, guys.
Yeah, that's right. I want to show a video that I think will inspire you guys and encourage you guys and motivate you guys. So Layla, let's roll that video.
Every major question you might be wrestling with, there is an answer in the Word of God.
Amen.
Abraham tested. Many of you are going through a test right now. I guarantee it. What did Abraham say when his life was hard and he was tested? Here I am. What's different about Christianity is that it's a gift for all of humanity to receive, regardless of everything that we have done. Grace is not earned. It is given by a God who loves you and wants to spend eternity with you. It is the most important decision you can make in your life.
That's
and
right.
Your life will be transformed. You will be born again. Comfort and Christianity sometimes come to a head.
True.
In fact, we are called to get uncomfortable as believers and Christians.
Yes, we are.
If you are comfortable, you're not doing Christianity right. We believe in a strong church. And if we're serious about saving this country, we need to get back to the source of where that inheritance came from, the Word of God, and our true citizenship, which is in heaven. And it starts with all of you.
Boy, that's a sermon. Every time I hear that, Mike, it's a sermon that can be preached, and I love to hear it every day. We're advertising that. I may need that.
And it's a well put together video.
So it is. Well, if you get around Charlie, Kirk, the Turning Point or Blexit group, you'll realize that the thing that drives them is their commitment and faith in Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's right. And you guys, we have something special to offer you guys. So if you guys want to attend Believer Summit, now this is next week in West Palm Beach, Florida, July 26th through the 28th. I'm going to be there. Renata's going to be there. We're going to be there with 511. We're going to be live streaming. We're actually going to be launching a show with Renata da Silva, which I think you guys are going to love. Renata's amazing.
She is.
Renata has been a phenomenal part of this team. Even in just a week, Tom, we're so blessed to have this woman in our lives. And the
She
level
was a good 511 made a good decision on her. She really did, Mike. And there again, she's a blessing. I mean, she just proven out who she is. That is true.
But you guys are going to be pumped to check out Renata's show. She is a abortion survivor. She has several miraculous stories, and she is just an incredible person. I was telling Lou Davy a little bit of her backstory last night. So Lou Davy is getting to really get to know Renata as well, and she's an impressive person. But we're going to be launching that show there. What we have to offer for you guys, and we just dropped a code in the comments, 25% off of any ticket if you guys want to go for using
incredible deal
51125, and we're raffling off some VIP tickets, which VIP is the only way that I would attend this event. Tom, I think you probably could say the same.
You know, Mike, they just don't know the impact that will have on their life. They don't. You know, I one of the things I think that you and I experienced when we did have the VIP passes is that we saw prayer work, because we would pray, Lord, give us some time with that person. And it happened, right, Mike? It's like we would get time. So there again, the VIP experience is worth it, because you get to see some of the people that maybe you've heard on the radio, maybe you've seen on a podcast, but they'll all be there. And it's an experience there. And you can actually, just by signing on and doing the hashtag 511, you can get in the drawing to get a VIP pass. And then Michael's going to talk about a code that you can use to help some other things.
Yeah. So again, 25% off for discount. Use code 51125 and hashtag 511media in the comments below, whatever platform you're on, to be entered for a chance to win free VIP tickets. So
yes,
yeah. So Tom, the thing that all of, frankly, the world has been focused on the last week has been this assassination attempt. And as I said on Sunday, the first day we went live about this, there's more to the story, and more keeps coming out every single day. And I just had a conversation with our friend Pat Massetti last night. What was his morning for him? And he's actually, you guys are gonna love Pat. And we're gonna be sharing this episode later, very soon, and we're gonna start sharing clips from Pat. But Pat is even though he's not an American, he lives in Australia. Mm-hmm. He's a patriot. And what he said last night was, what happens in America affects the entire rest of the world, and it does. What happens in America is important to everybody across the globe. And for the world to be safe, we need a strong America. And right now, America is not strong and the world's not safe. And so we had this attempt on DJT, as we like to affectionately call him, the Don, Donald Trump. And Dan Bongino broke it down very, very well. And I want to play the clip from Dan Bongino real quick. This is when he was talking to Tucker.
So I was just showing Tucker some material from an unimpeachable source, let's just say, on the matter. That post, according to my source, that roof was supposed to be a police post. It was supposed to be someone there. They're now making up excuses, saying the pitch of the roof. My source says to me no one knows why the post didn't show up. But so that's a nonsense story they're putting out in the media. And I was also told that the Secret Service director has been given instructions from the administration and the DHS secretary. You want to keep your job, you'll keep your mouth shut about this. They're not putting that out there, but if you get those site post logs and those police instructions, and there was a post on there and they didn't show up and no one checked, someone could have got your dad killed within millimeters.
Yeah,
that's personal. Yesterday, Michael Knowles sat down with Donald Trump Jr. At the RNC. And one of the things came back, and Donald was telling Junior was telling Michael that the blood in his dad's hair is what brought it home. Just seeing that and seeing the mattedness of it. So it was a good interview.
Yeah. Well, Tom, did you see that? And Layla, if you can bring up these images from the stocks, they shorted the stocks. like literally the day before the assassination attempt.
I didn't know
So
that. It's a anytime you have something like that, you're going to have to affect the markets somehow.
well,
You do.
not only that, so the fact and who was involved in this, and Layla, if you can bring up the other images about this, I don't know if you'll be able to find them, but the who was involved in this, number one was George Soros. Surprise, surprise. George Soros was involved in shorting the stock. I think there's at least a dotted line between the shorting of the stock and the assassination attempt. And the fact that George Soros was involved and BlackRock was involved in the shorting of the stock, and I'm sure they lost massive money because they were expecting him to die.
Mm-hmm. Well, they were expecting to make it up. So, Mike, I don't know if Layla has my picture. I love there's one from Elon Musk, and everybody's being so sarcastic. The group I'm around now, they were being so sarcastic yesterday, talking about a slopey roof. And so if you could bring up the picture, if you have it. So it's a picture of the White House, and Elon Musk said, looks very slopey to me, and that's a Secret Service guy on the top of the White House.
Yeah.
It just loses its effect. I mean, come on, let's get over this. And wouldn't I mean, somebody's going to be a whistleblower. That's what I'm praying for. The Bible says things that are hidden will come into light. I'm praying that somebody, the whistleblower, says that Mike, I was in a conversation yesterday. The ladder is 10 foot. You can't put that in a car. Who put that up? No. The kid didn't bring it on a car. He brought sighting binoculars, and it was detected at the metal detector. I mean, I just want to get a better look at the president from the top of the building with my AR in hand. What are you going to do? Oh, I'm just going to look through him and Mike, it's just too obvious, and you just look ridiculous by I think somebody's going to turn because they're going to think, oh, crap, I want to keep my job. I want some favor with Donald Trump when he becomes the president of the United States and rips the covers off of things. That's what I'm praying that he does.
Yeah. Well, and it's crazy, the things that they're saying about this shooting. Layla, do you have that video, the next one? I'll tell you if you got the right one. But and maybe I can grab it for her too. Let me see. No, Layla, if you could bring that up, you might have to go back to yesterday and find it. But the what they're saying about Trump and the fact that all of these people, like, who wants someone to, like, they have so much hatred in their heart that they're literally asking for him to die. They're literally upset because he didn't die. Mm-hmm. And I think Layla's not going to be able to find that video, but we have another.
Well, if she could find my cartoon picture, because this shows you what Democrats have done in the past. They just attempted to do again, because when they get desperate, Democrats become dangerous. So I don't know if you could pull that up, Layla.
Yeah. Do you have the cartoon? There we go.
Every time Democrats don't get their way, they get dangerous. And guess who that is? John Wilkes Booth shooting Abraham Lincoln. A lot of people don't believe this, Mike. And I've talked to people, and we had a conversation yesterday where I was at. And a lot of people don't recognize or realize John Wilkes Booth was a Democrat, a staunch Democrat.
Surprise, surprise.
Guess what? Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. Actually, they formed the Republican Party. Why? To become anti-slavery. People don't, when you talk to Democrats about these subjects, they look at you like, no, it's not true. Well, look it up. So so isn't that exactly what's happening now, Mike? Democrats are becoming dangerous because they're misguided. They're looking for new ways out. And I don't want to jump ahead too much.
No, it's okay. Layla, go ahead and play slide, what looks to be slide 2, I believe.
Well, I'd like you to comment on that. I'd like you to comment on that picture, Mike, because you always have great comments.
Well, to comment on that picture, I think every single time that an assassination attempt has been made, because an attempt was made on Reagan, and a successful attempt was made on JFK. There's been several that have been attempted. There's been 2 that I'm aware of that have succeeded on presidents, and there's been others that are lower level congressional leaders and other leaders that have been assassinated. But every time that I'm aware of, it's been the Democrat Party. Right?
Makes acquiring minds go, Hey, and we're alleging that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get to in a minute, but Layla, roll that clip number 2. Yes. Tom, I know you've seen this one.
Don't miss Trump next time.
So that's Tenacious D, Jack Black. And, I don't remember, and frankly, I really don't care who his band member was, but there's been some very serious backlash from that. And Layla, do you have the news article that I shared with you about? Yeah, there we go. Tenacious D's Kyle Gass. Okay, that's his name. Kyle Gass. I really could care less what his name is. Frankly, I'm not interested in this band. And frankly, we used to be fans of Jack Black in our household, and my kids were like, after seeing that video, they're like, we don't like Jack Black. And my kids have been, as some people would like to put it, brainwashed.
They said that.
I think the Bible very, very clearly says, raise a child up in the way they should go. So they're telling me, well, you're not allowed to do that. Let us do it for you, and we'll brainwash them the way we want them to be brainwashed. And I shared this last night, Tom, with Pat, and I was talking about the Minecraft, right? And you're probably not aware of this because you don't have any relatives at the moment that are
but my wife's very familiar, and she always updates me on Minecraft because she never played it. But guess what? Some of her students do.
Right.
So she's talked about how the game indoctrinates those kids.
Oh yeah, and so Michael has been into Minecraft since he was about 5 years old, and he's got Minecraft toys. He's got Minecraft clothes. He's got Minecraft underwear. He's got Minecraft Legos. He's got and he's invested and spent his own money, because that's one thing we do in my household is our kids earn money, and our kids have been earning money since they were 5 years old. And I'm not saying allowance. I'm not saying, hey, we just give them money. I'm saying that we've given them opportunities to earn, and they've earned, and they've spent their own money. When they want something, they spend their own money. We give them their needs or necessities. We take care of them. Clearly, I would like to say I'm a good father, but when they want something that's outside of necessities, we expect them to pay for it themselves. And because we're teaching them life lessons. And so he's invested his own money in Minecraft, and he came to me and Ludavia, his mother, my wife, the other night, and he said, oh, look at this. This is funny. They got a rainbow on here, blah, blah, blah. And I said, not in my house. And as the Bible says, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
I was going there, Michael. I was going there.
And
I love it.
I said, not in my house. And we immediately deleted that game. And he was heartbroken. He cried. And I was frankly heartbroken for him. However, we're not going to allow certain things to be in our household. And it took him a while, to kind of get through it. And we're like, look, you don't have to throw away all your Minecraft clothes. You already bought those. You already have them. You don't have to throw away all your toys. You don't have to throw away this. But we're not going to continue to play this game and support this company because they're pushing a woke agenda. And sure, they have a little tiny rainbow over here in the corner, but that little rainbow is going to get to more and more and more and more and more until eventually it's normalized. Because right now you're coming to me and you're saying, Dad, Mom, this is weird, and I know it's weird. But at some point, if we were to allow that, he's not going to do that anymore. And I'm making a point, and I'm going to take him somewhere special today. I'm making a point to give him a reward for bringing it to our attention, because I think he should be rewarded, because he shouldn't just lose. He shouldn't just have something taken away from him that he loves. He should also get rewarded for doing the right thing. So as he was heartbroken, as he was, frankly, he said, oh, you ruined my life and blah, blah, blah. I had to talk to him, and I talked to him about sin and how sin creeps into our life. and I talked to him about the proverbial frog in a pot of boiling water, which we've most likely you've all heard. And if you haven't heard it, drop in the comments and I'll share more about that and let you know. But I'm assuming most of you guys, if not all of you guys, have heard this story. And he said, I get it, Dad. So I discussed that with Pat Massetti last night, and we discussed a lot of things. Again, we'll be releasing that video later, but we're not going to things.
Can I tell you that other groups and people get disciplined the same way? Layla, I threw you out a article on John Deere. I don't know if you could pop that up, but sometimes it takes an initiative of and being very direct. So John Deere drops diversity initiative and pledges to no longer join social or cultural awareness parades.
You know who else did this recently, Tom?
Microsoft. Yeah, Mike. So what's happening? So let's just say it. Who buys John Deere stuff?
Farmers? Mostly.
Salt of the earth people?
Yeah.
Your dad, Michael?
Yep.
The farmers that work for Sun World? I'm just telling you. So do you think you can throw diversity? You could throw equity
DEI
at them and they're not going to push back? I mean, it's going to be
they
something.
Probably lost a lot of money over that, frankly.
Well, Mike, you know business.
Oh yeah.
People don't just put the car in reverse or the truck in reverse just because they've changed their mind. I mean, this is a major corporation that has said, "Hey, we're not going to do it," and they are doing it publicly. And Mike, you know me. Look at the top. Who published this? USA Today. A legacy media corporation. Right. So John Deere is realizing they're getting pushback, but you know what? They don't care. I'm just like, right on. It's okay to have make a decision for your company, but then once it takes a hit, you probably need to back up. And I think a lot of people are seeing this.
They realize that handouts aren't working. We went to Taco Bell last night, and I think we talked about this before. We went to Taco Bell last night, and there's a robot taking our order.
Yeah, because a robot doesn't care about circumstances.
A robot doesn't get paid $20 an hour.
No, kilowatt.
Right,
kilowatt
right.
Minutes. No.
So the woke agenda isn't working, and that is part of, not an entire story, but that's part of what led to this unsuccessful, praise God, assassination attempt on Donald Trump. And the narrative that the left is trying to push right now, and I would venture to say it's not working, is that this unnamed, because we won't name the shooter, was a conservative Republican. And I think there's plenty of evidence that's been out there that he's not. But the narrative is, oh yeah. So you tell me what conservative Republican is going and shooting the country's best hope.
There is so much more behind this, Mike. And I think I dropped a couple things into our show tomorrow that was very interesting when you take the covers back even a little farther. It's talking about how Don Bongino was told that it was supposed to be a post and now it wasn't a post, and how people were told to stay away from it. How people were told, oh, it's too much of a slopey roof, when the people who shot the dude in the head were on a slopey roof too. I mean, the narrative just doesn't make sense. There's too many people that were there, and I love that. I do believe, I think, Mike, that the people that were there and saw things, like somebody reported, hey, there's a dude on the roof with a gun. I mean, and the local police woman went up there, and the dude pulled the gun on him, and then when he went back down, which I wish he would have done a little more, but that's somebody else's. And the dude shot. I mean, there'd be some party like, hey guys, this guy's shouldn't be there. And yeah. So
we have Cheeto. I'm going to call her Cheeto, Cheetle, the head of the Secret Service, that is saying the buck stops here. Yeah. If the buck stops here, why are you not taking responsibility for it? Because
not being fired by the Biden administration for trying to assassinate 45 when you're 46.
Yeah.
Mike, I don't get it, but yeah. So it's your, you go ahead and lead the show, Mike. Cause I could, you know me, I love our conversation line.
We've both employed plenty of people over our time, Tom, and we've also chosen to, or been forced to, fire people over much less than this. This is catastrophic failure.
This is such a debacle that I've got to believe, and I'm praying for this, that somebody, a whistleblower, is going to put out something that is going to be a direct attached, not even a dotted line, clear cut line. Because, Mike, they're smart enough, because they're smart people. They're running the presidency, pulling Joe Biden's strings, the people that are behind this too. And, Mike and I are still saying allegedly, but we got a brain. And if anybody with a half a brain, that means a more brain than our Sleepy Joe, can figure this one out, right?
Yeah,
it's not a hard one to figure out. But they're trying to get this dude out of the way, aren't they?
They are.
Joe, not Donald Trump. But they're trying to
yeah, and we're gonna get to more of that in a second. Before we do, Tom, I'm sure you've seen this one as well, but can we roll the new Trump ad?
Ooh.
We can now project the winner of the presidential race. Donald Trump wins the presidency. What started off as unlikely, impossible, is now reality.
I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever let you down.
The president actually fulfilled the promises he made during the campaign, securing the border to foreign policy.
He now has a record as president. It's pretty damn impressive. Breaking news out of Palm
The
Beach,
FBI
Florida.
has executed an unprecedented search warrant at President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. The president has both sides of the political aisle up in arms.
Dangerous and unstable moment in American history.
The Justice Department has just indicted former President Donald Trump.
For 7 years, they hated him, they targeted him, they hunted him.
This is the epitome of the abuse of the prosecutorial power to preempt political decisions.
I never thought anything like this could happen in America. The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. They're not coming after me, they're coming after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way, and I will never be moving.
I love that.
On November 5th, 2024, justice will be done. We will take back our country, and we will make America great again. America will always rise to every challenge and overcome every danger.
Donald Trump seems to always get stronger when challenged. These types of things, I think, give him strength.
When I'm reelected, I will totally obliterate the deep state. As long as we have pride in our beliefs, courage in our convictions, and faith in our God, then we will not fail.
I love that. So true.
Yeah, I saw that video, and obviously we're big Trump supporters here at 511.
They haven't figured that out yet.
But I love that video and encouraged me. And I saw another video this morning that I'll probably put out on our social. And if our social media team is watching this, I think I sent you all a video this morning. Maybe we can share it out on our social media. But talking about winners, and winners, when they're faced with adversity, don't fall back. They rise to the challenge. They overcome, and it in fact drives them to be more successful. And we've seen this time after time after time again with Donald J. Trump. We've seen it in every great leader that this country's had. And I think this video that we just played embodies that very, very well. I think that Donald is the next president. I think all of the momentum is going in that way. We've said it many times on this show, many times in the rest of the media that 511 puts out, that there's going to be an October surprise. There's going to be more shenanigans. And it's my opinion, my strong opinion, that there's going to be more attempts, whether they're successful or not. We pray in Jesus' name that they're not, on Donald Trump's life. Tom?
You know, Mike, I do believe that the pace has been set, even though now Joe Biden's done a very poor attempt to say, let's turn the temperature down. All the other politicians have done a lousy job on the Democratic side saying, let's turn the temperature down. They want to turn the temperature down because they failed. That's what they want to do. They failed in the fact of putting forward a adequate opponent for Donald J. Trump. That's what they really failed at. And I think that's what's really driven this whole thing, Mike. I mean, you can't even go out. You can't even be in the circles that you and I are in, Mike, where you don't hear how terrible a job Biden has done. I don't know if you heard about the call that he has supposedly done with the some Democratic supporters, and governors were there, senators were in this call, where basically, if it wouldn't have been for the assassination attempt, there was going to be a huge pullback, which has already been a big, huge pullback from their support, because the video, and I've been praying that comes out, because if they had a Zoom, somebody's got that Zoom recorded on their phone, and I just pray, if it's you, release it, because they said it was worse than the debate, Mike. That's what it's alleged. And I just feel somebody will do it, because they're going to twist and twist and twist his arm until he relinquishes. I mean, he said, okay, now I'll do it if I get a diagnosis. Now he's got COVID.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, and so he's going to tuck away for a few days, which he probably should. And he's going to extend his nap time he'll probably include 10 to 4 on this, because he's an old man and he's sick. I mean, I get that.
Yeah.
But Donald J. Trump gets popped in the head and pops back up. And and if you're out there, and you and I said it on the show, I think Monday or Tuesday, that if you're our enemy out there, you're thinking, holy smokes, this guy's still the real deal. Because they're going to come after Donald Trump's age. They are. But how can you defy what has happened? And he actually showed up to events, walked down a plane after getting popped in the head.
Yeah. Well, as I was saying, there's going to be more attempts and more things. Layla, we got, I think it's clip 12. It looks like, if we can roll that real quick.
See, Cash, this is why we love you so much, and this is why the audience just adores you.
I just made it up.
Well, you just brought us there, right? Yeah. That's such a great point. So is this going to be the medical emergency? He had a flu, now he has COVID.
And then next he's going to have some sort of malfunction, and then he's going to pardon his son. He's going to pardon his brother. He's going to pardon himself, because remember, presidential pardons aren't just good for retroactive criminal investigations. Presidential pardons are good for prospective criminal investigations. So you can basically give yourself
Yeah.
See, Cash, this is why we love you.
That's crazy. But it's unconstitutional.
So much, and this is why the audience
it's unconstitutional when it applies to Trump. But Biden's going to come out and do it. And now Biden hasn't come out and done it. Biden hasn't said he's going to come out and do it. This is somebody clearly on our side that is predicting this. But is that far-fetched at all? No, absolutely not.
Mike, it's so funny, because I told you before we started it today, I was tied up a little this morning, that once I saw your notes, I go, oh, I've got some videos that are already going to line up with what you're saying. And I do believe sometimes the Holy Spirit lines us up like that, because yes, he's got COVID. And they'll probably come out now and say, okay, COVID does cause more problems once you get it or gets the vaccine. I'm surprised he didn't say, well, I got the vaccine, because the vaccine doesn't stop you from getting it.
Great point.
Which we were told it does.
They still want Biden out, right? And we got a couple images, Layla, if you got those. They still want Biden out, and that was kind of that left the headlines for a while, and
just came back.
Yeah, no, this one. Hold on. I got it. It's number 16, Layla. Nope, that's not the right one. Sorry, guess we're having a little bit of technical difficulties in the back, but they still want Biden out, and they're pushing for that. And Pelosi came out and is trying to talk not Donald Trump. Pelosi came out, is trying to talk Biden into stepping back, and she's been the driver. Go ahead and bring it up, Layla. She's been the driver trying to get him out because they have a strong relationship, and it kind of dropped out of the headlines. But frankly, and I know others in the media have said the same thing, we're kind of rooting for Biden to stay in the race because Biden is the most beatable candidate there is. That said, I don't think anybody else has any momentum in this race. Nobody's going to want Gavin in the White House. Nobody's going to want Kamala in the White House. The Hillary Clinton recirculating the headlines, that's just absolutely bonkers.
I'm telling you, you're going to get every military person to vote against Hillary Clinton. Just terrible.
Oh, well, if we saw what was it? Is it 13 hours?
13 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. We saw, and that movie came out back before the 2016 election, and I think massively swayed that election. That was part of that, and there were some other things, but they still want Biden out. So who are they going to put in to replace him? Nobody really knows for sure. There's speculation. There's a lot of speculation, but did you see this clip about the other day from them trying to compare Biden's cold to Donald Trump being shot? Go ahead and roll it. Yeah.
That I have on that. These two men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an elderly man who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation. Weird situation.
He got shot with a bullet.
But his survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's
no way, you idiot.
Something that used to really be fatal to people his age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies, isn't that exactly the same?
No.
It's not exactly the same. It's not the same incident, but it's
She's going to circle back.
Coming through out of an illness.
Circle back. If you see, Topher has a song about that. It's actually pretty cool. I'll shoot it over to you later, but and maybe we'll share it on our Instagram. But they're trying to say, oh, Biden has a cold and Donald Trump
got shot in the head.
It's kind of the same thing, right? If both of them recover from that, then it's showing equal strength. No, it's not even relatively close to the same thing.
So I'm not going to say I want this to happen, but if right now you and I are given a choice, get shot in the head or get COVID, I'm taking COVID.
That's easy.
I'm just saying I've had COVID twice. I was lied to. I took one vaccination, the J&J, advised by my doctor. Call me an idiot. I think I was, but that was the information I had. I did it. I can tell you now, I was lied to. And, but I'm taking the COVID because I've had it a couple of times and I've been able, by praise Jesus and should I say silver? This air gets canceled again.
But say whatever you want, Tom.
But come on. Any person with a half a brain, which Biden doesn't have, would take that, right?
Yeah.
I just go down there 100 feet and I'm going to shoot at you. And I'm going to try to hit your ear. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yeah.
I'll take COVID.
Well, and the fact that they would say that this was set up by the Republicans, and some people are saying that there's speculation going, allegedly that it could have been set up by nobody is dumb enough, because even if they said, oh, well, maybe we should set up a faux assassination attempt and have somebody shoot at me. What if the wind blows differently? Nobody's going to take that kind of attempt on their own. How moronic do people think that this man is?
And this kid was almost kicked out of his shooting class in high school because he was a terrible shot. It's like, that wouldn't be the guy that I'd want to shoot me in the ear. I would.
And as I've been saying since Sunday, since day one, and I've said it every single day, there's more to the story. There's more that's going to continue to come out. Somebody's eventually going to get fired. Very, very likely Cheadle will get fired because they can't take the PR nightmare of not having her fired. And the other thing that this is speculation, Tom, and this is only my speculation. But I think that everybody knows the direction the election is heading, and I think that no matter what, it's going that direction. All the momentum is going for Trump. All the momentum is going for Republicans, and I think that they're going to let Biden stay in the race because he's the sacrificial lamb. Why should they let somebody else take the loss? And Scott, our friend Scott Garcia had something. You can go ahead and bring up that. Scott said there are major complications to replacing Biden. All the money raised in his campaign cannot be given to a different candidate, and he's absolutely right about that. There's a lot of reasons that there's complications, and that's why they've left Biden in the race, because it's not just as easy as swapping someone in and out. It's not like a bank account and they just hand it off to somebody else.
Well, Mike, I'm just gonna suggest something. You okay with that? I'm gonna allege something.
Absolutely.
So we just saw the AT&T got hacked. What if this bank account gets hacked? And
suddenly appears in somebody else's bank account.
Yeah.
I mean, it could happen, right?
Look what happened.
Stranger things have happened.
Mike, there again. I was in a group yesterday. We were talking about all the laws that are supposed to protect this, but who's in charge of the laws right now?
Nobody, frankly. But if you want to say somebody, Biden, the liberals, they have a majority in the Senate.
Yeah. Somebody that's very funny said, "Oh, sounds like the inmates are in charge of the prison." I go, they are. What a great analogy. They leave the warden there just for a figurehead.
And the biggest thing that they're trying to say about Trump is this Project 2025. And Layla, do we have that video with Kamala Harris talking about that? We should have it in there. Yeah, go ahead and bring it up.
Hey everyone. So Donald Trump has picked his new running mate, JD Vance. Trump looked for someone he knew would be a rubber stamp for his extreme agenda, and make no mistake, JD Vance will be loyal only to Trump, not to our country. And unlike Mike Pence, Vance said he would have carried out Trump's plan to overturn the 2020 election. He supports a national abortion ban and voted against protecting IVF. And if elected, he will help implement the extreme Project 2025 plan for a second Trump term, which would target critical programs like Head Start and Medicare. But we are not going to let that happen.
Yeah. And so that's what they're trying to say about Trump. But I think we have evidence that that's false. That's a false flag. That's false information. And we have that's wrong image, Layla. We have a this, I believe, is 22. 27. We have what Trump said about this as well in a tweet. And I don't know if Layla has it, but I'll read it. Donald Trump says, "I know nothing about Project 2025." This was just the other day. Yep, here we go. "I know nothing about Project 2025. I have not seen it, have no idea who's in charge of it, and unlike our very well-received Republican platform, had nothing to do with it. The radical left Democrats are having a field day, however, trying to hook me into whatever policies are stated or said is pure disinformation on their part. By now, after all these years, everyone knows where I stand on everything DJT." Right. So it can be easily said, well, she said this, he said that, somebody's lying. Yeah, clearly somebody's lying. And I think it's been proven time and time again who the liars are.
Mike, we have data on both presidencies.
We do.
So we if you're going to go back, you can see which presidency worked. It was Donald J. Trump's across the board. Immigration, economy, foreign policy, domestic policy, everything worked just like he said it was. And what has worked for Joe Biden? Nothing.
Raising prices, inflation. Yeah.
And he blames that on Trump. I mean, it's been 4 years and he blames that on Trump. You got to get over yourself, dude. Again, I keep going back, and I shared this yesterday. I keep going back to the dude that had his cart for Walmart on the pandemic. I got to find that clip, Mike. And he just reordered everything, and it went up almost 5 times. It was $124. I think that was the price. If it wasn't in fact, don't come after me. Yeah. But when he just reordered it said, I just said that was during pandemic, and I made it on that food for a month. And he just said reorder, $480 some, Mike.
Yeah. Well,
And
we
it-
shared
it-
that recently, and it went up like $137.
It's like, gosh, you're kidding. So
Yeah. And
when they want to use statistics, they just throw them around, especially Comrade Newsom. And it's so funny. I'll quit talking.
all good, all good. So we have more coverage of all of these things coming up tomorrow. We are going to be talking more assassination attempt. We're going to be talking more about the RNC. We're going to be talking more about what's coming out with Biden. And we're doing a lot of things here at 511. We're working on the show. We're working on bringing in comments. Thank you, Scott Garcia. We're working on bringing in live callers. So that's going to be coming in real soon. And we're going to be coming to a radio station near you very, very soon as well. So you guys get out the vote. That's something that a drum I've been beating for as long as I've been doing the show, and frankly longer than that. Use the mail-in ballots, early voting, take advantage of those things, because the Democrats are. There's going to be more shenanigans. There's certainly going to be an October surprise, and there's been some stuff that is starting to come out of what that potentially might be. Where that's still a few months away, but there's going to be some additional corruption. There's going to be some crazy things that you guys have never. I mean, frankly, the assassination attempt was something nobody could ever in their wildest imagination have thought was going to happen. Now people have called for it. People wanted it to happen. And frankly, there's a-holes that are upset that it didn't happen. And frankly, I have no use for people that want someone to die, because Tom, I've never said, and I would not associate with or give any credence to anybody on our side that said, well, Biden should die. We do think he's unfit for the job. We do think that his policies have been terrible. We do think that he's done some things to America that are not only reprehensible, but potentially going to take some time to reverse and to change.
Go ahead. I heard a quote from Mark Twain, and I'm going to mess it up because I didn't get it. But this is the tone of it. It said, "I've never wished for somebody's death, but I've read obituaries with a smile."
Yeah.
So I mean, there again, we can pray for our leaders, and we can pray for the people that are trying to make some good decisions in our country, and but I do agree with you, Mike. I don't think the shenanigans are over. I really don't.
No. And you guys, we're like I said, we're coming out with a lot of stuff. We're coming out with some new merch. We're coming out with some new premium content, which is going to be initially, when it launches, free for members. We're gonna be at Believer Summit, which again, we'll reshare that video here later today. If social media team can put that video up, that'd be fantastic. But you guys, again, I'm gonna reemphasize: get out there and vote. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. God bless.